Today's episode is called The Witch and the Warrior, and we are here to discuss what that means. Last episode, we talked about why mindset and what is the importance of having a really positive and uplifted mindset. So today I want to talk to you about how to make that happen. And I talk about this in my book, The Warrior Mindset. And I break it down into 3 steps, or what I like to call my 3 A's. And so this whole concept of the witch and the warrior comes under the first A, which is awareness. And so let's think about, what it means to even begin to work on your mindset, right? We hear things like meditation, we hear things like mindfulness. And while those are some of the ways to get to a still mind, I think that it's important to understand what goes on in our mind first and become aware of what it is that we need to watch out for. So when I started on this journey, for me, mindset has always been something that I have thought about. I have loved reading about it. I have loved educating myself about it. And the more I got into it, the more I realized that it all comes down to understanding who I am and what is going on inside of my mind, right? And in order to simplify it for myself, I came up with this concept of the witch and the warrior. And I soon understood that I had 2 distinct voices inside my mind. One was the evil inner witch who was constantly telling me that I'm not good enough, constantly telling me that I will not succeed at whatever it is that I am trying to do, or that I don't deserve what I'm trying to reach for. And then the second voice was the warrior. Okay, this inner voice, that warrior was always whispering. And in the beginning, I couldn't even hear her, right? I couldn't even tell that there was a warrior inside my mind. But as I started to experience this level of empowerment and encouragement and started to understand what I wanted in life and what I didn't want, I started to get clear on these 2 voices. So I want to challenge you to think about if there's something going on in your lives right now that is difficult, whether it's a difficult person you're dealing with, a difficult situation that you're dealing with, or, just a difficult time in your life, right? And we all have that. And then once you think of that, I want you to think about what is going on in that mind of yours. What are the voices? Can you understand them? Can you label them? Can you, say, okay, this is definitely the witch, and I know she doesn't want me to succeed. And this is definitely the warrior. And as you start to, acknowledge these 2 voices distinctly inside of your mind, you will start to lean towards one more than the other. For me, I liked the way the warrior made me feel. I always knew that the warrior had my back. I always knew that the warrior would, hold space for me and allow me to make mistakes and allow me to grow. And I always knew that the witch was just there to make me feel bad about myself. And it was so easy, right? It was so easy because at that time, the witch was reigning in my world. She was just, the megaphone was with her. She was screaming all day, every day, and that's the only voice I heard. So I just want to remind you that you can take that megaphone from the witch and give it to the warrior. You have that power. This is why I'm doing this podcast. This is why I want you to understand what goes on in your mind, because once you do, you can take back your power. You can take back control, and you can take charge of your destiny. That's how powerful this work is. And yes, it's not easy. It's not easy to tame that inner witch, but you can do it. And in the coming episodes, I'm going to talk more about how we can do this in depth. Because today, I just want you to spend time identifying the witch and the warrior. So think about a difficult situation or a person in your life and think about what's going on in your mind. Who's got the control? And if it's the witch, how can you take that control and give that megaphone to the warrior? How can you do that in the simplest, smallest way possible, right? And I challenge you to get real with yourself, because when you do, you will notice that the change that you make will last forever. All right. So try it out. Let me know what comes up for you. And I hope that this episode has inspired you to tame that inner evil witch and put her in her place And I want to hear from you how you're going to put that evil witch in her place, because she does not belong in your mind. Okay, she has a role just to warn you of like threats and things like that, but that's about it. She doesn't get to rule your mind. Okay, so tell me how you tame your inner witch. And if you're already used to it, share it in the comments and let other people, be helped by your individual process. And let's share the love and let's all be happy and at peace together.